Thanks for watching Coral Gables Television. Today on Coral Gables Now, local performers now have a new venue to showcase their talents. A dramatic transformation is in store for these two traffic circles. Find out what important health research is taking place at the University of Miami and how the outcome may make you steer clear of high traffic areas. Plus, we take a look at the city's history through its postcards. Coral Gables Now starts right now. Welcome to Coral Gables Now. I'm Belkis Perez. When you think about beautiful streetscapes in the city, maybe a few come to mind. We've got Segovia Street, which was recently completed, and over 200 oak trees. We've got Ponce de Leon Boulevard, which looks beautiful in the daytime and just as beautiful at night. And we've got the Cocoa Plum Circle with its colorful flowers and old shoes sculpture. Well, soon the list of beautiful streetscapes is going to get a lot longer with the addition of two traffic circles. And here to fill us in on those details is Cindy Birchsill. She's the director of the city's Economic Sustainability Department. Thank you so much for being here, Cindy.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me a little bit about these circles. There's the location of the circles are also important, and we're talking about two in specific.
Right. These are the two traffic circles that are located on Segovia Street at the intersections of Coral Way and Biltmore Way.
Okay. And the construction of these circles, just as a background here, has been completed for about 2 years, I would say, but it is a blank slate, so it's the perfect location.
It is. They're larger circles than many of the other traffic circles that we have in the city, so they're a perfect location to have significant civic monuments. And also, it's the first time since the founding of the city, when George Merrick was doing projects, that the city is actually commissioning civic monuments for that will have make a statement about the community.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, because when we have seen circles in the past, they've been still beautiful with their landscaping, but not a civic monument as you're describing. Correct. So what is planned for these spaces?
So the vision really is to have a significant piece of art that incorporates a fountain feature, because our city is so replete with fountains. Mm-hmm. It is definitely part of the aesthetic motifs that are found throughout the city. And we've asked artists who are submitting to participate in this project or applying to be chosen for it. We've asked them to consider the natural world, the significance of this location as a gateway, as well as the important values of our community in whatever they are going to design. The other very interesting feature is that the two circles are visible from each other. Okay. So they can have whatever works are put in the two can have a conversation with each other.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is one circle going to have something specific that it's all encompassing there, or will they? There be a connection between both of them? I
think we still have yet to see what the artists who are going to make proposals come up with, but there is an opportunity to have an interaction between the two, because you can see one from the other.
Okay, and so talking about the artists now, since you bring it up, tell me about the artists, and I know you gave me the vision already, and you're really leaving it up to them to come up with a design, which is great. But tell me about the artists, the caliber of artists that have applied so far.
Sure. The process that we're following to find artists for this project, we put out an international call for entry, and we have had over 180 artists apply. Wow. Many of them they're from all over the world, Spain, Greece, the United States, obviously, some from Asian countries. So we got a lot of interest in the project. And there are well-known names. I don't want to identify anybody yet, but people that are recognized public artists.
Okay.
So it's very exciting. Our goal is to have a piece that, you know, when somebody comes to visit Coral Gables, they'll say, you know, I really have to go take a look at that civic monument or sculpture with the fountain. We want something that is a real draw.
Okay. Okay, and then what's the next step now? Who, you know, have you gotten all the proposals already, the submittals, and so a board is looking at it?
Yes, well, yes, all the proposals have come in, and we have a judging panel that is reviewing those, and they will come up with some semifinalists, and will make a final recommendation to the City Commission. Ultimately, the City Commission will have the final decision as to whether to accept one of the designs.
All right, thank you, Cindy, for that information, and we look forward to seeing what the artists come up with. And as Cindy said, tourists may one day add it to the list of things to see in Coral Gables. Staying on that same topic, because we have so many beautiful landmarks, we do get plenty of tourists, and double-decker buses seem to be their preferred way of seeing the city. So we asked Rodolfo Roman to be a tourist for the day and hop on one of those buses. Take a look.
Thanks, Buc-ee's. Right now we are outside the Biltmore. We are about to go inside the big bus tours. You know, if you're visiting Coral Gables or South Florida for the first time, it could be tricky driving around the area, but don't worry about it. These guys got you covered. So join me as we go inside and enjoy the ride. There's so much to do in Coral Gables, yet little time if it's your first visit. But ride one of these double-decker buses and the big bus tours will give you a chance for great snapshots. In just 90 minutes, you get to see all of the top landmarks in the city.
We're pleased to bring passengers, tourists in that come to visit the city of Miami to Coral Gables. They come to see the rich architecture and the beautiful city that was planned by George Merrick so many years ago.
The tour offers several stops through many top tourist destinations like the Venetian Pool. If you liked one certain area, you can hop on and off the bus and they will pick you up later.
Every hop on and off point that we operate is a potential start point for a customer. So all the stops that we have, you can get on the bus at those points in time, and you can start the tour at any time of day.
Well, right now we are driving through the Coconut Grove area. One thing you do need to watch out for, though, is the trees. But nonetheless, I must say that when you travel on the big bus tour, you really get a different perspective. And Raul, I think you could definitely concur with that.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen my city from a view like this. It's incredible.
Maggie Carter visited Coral Gables for the first time. She didn't let the rain stop her from enjoying the view from the top. Well, it's raining right now, but I guess that doesn't really matter to you, huh?
I'm going to the Venetian to go swimming, so it makes no difference at all.
There are two tours. You can choose from Miami Beach or a tour that goes through the city of Miami and Coral Gables. The bus takes off from Bayfront Park in Miami.
And we wanted to be a friendly partner. We want to be a benefit to the city residents.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Well, there you have it. Big Bus Tours operates 365 days, 7 days a week, and you can get information at bigbustours.com. And trust me, it's the best way to see Coral Gables. For Coral Gables Now, Rodolfo Roman. Back to you, Buc-ee's.
All right, thanks, Rodolfo. We'll be right back with more of Coral Gables Now.
Once you see the world through math and science, you'll never see anything the same way again. Go to girlsgotech.org.
You'll see.
Welcome back. The University of Miami has just embarked on a study that links cancer to traffic. The study hopes to use information already compiled to get more accurate information on areas that could pose a higher risk of cancer. And here to talk to us about the study is Dr. Young Tao Guan, Professor of Management Science at the University of Miami School of Business Administration, and he's also the study's lead researcher. Thank you so much, Doctor, for being here with us.
Glad to be here.
So when I think of high traffic areas, I think about noise pollution, I think of unsightly areas. But now epidemiologists, as you explained to me, want to know if there's a higher risk of cancer associated with areas of high traffic.
Yes, that's correct. Well, because motor vehicle emission is a major source of air pollution, and in a study conducted in California recently, it showed that on-road vehicle accounted for about 66% of the emission of benzene, which is a known carcinogen for cancer, and about 49% of particulate matter, which is a proper carcinogen classified by the International Council Agency for Research on Cancer. So there is a strong indication, and there is also a lot of literature in recent years that shows the possible connection between cancer and cancer risk and exposure to traffic.
So what is the University of Miami going to be doing specifically with this data?
So the University of Miami, so the main proposal, the main component of the proposal is develop the spatial statistical methods which can be used to address spatial uncertainty in cancer-related studies.
And when you say spatial uncertainty, doctor, what do you mean by that?
Spatial uncertainty basically means when you look at a person, if you want to establish some connections between cancer risk, for example, and environmental exposure, in this particular setting is exposure to traffic. So you want to know where the person lived over the years. So if you, in some situations, the data that you got, they call it coursed, meaning that you know the region where the person lived. For example, you would see the cancer incidents are being reported at the town level, but not at the point level where the person lived. So that's kind of a spatial uncertainty involved because you don't know exactly where the person lived. And the other type of spatial uncertainty that you can think of, even though you know the actual address of where the person lived, but you would have to do some we call geocode, to geocode translate the actual street address to some longitudinal, latitudinal coordinates based on which you can do the numerical analysis. But the issue is most of the analysis are based on the geographic information system. It's a software which can help you to convert the address to some numbers. But it has been, many studies have shown that there are going to be some errors involved. So it's not exactly going to translate the address to the exact geocode, the longitude to latitude coordinates. There are going to be some errors involved. Several hundred meters is typical, and if you look at rural areas, a large error, even much larger error can occur. So if you think of environmental exposure to traffic, for example, you live right next to the highway compared to 500 meters away from the highway, that's a huge difference.
So just that small space would make a huge difference.
It would make a huge difference.
It's so important to get precise.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay. What do you hope to accomplish at the end, and how long will it take you to put all this together?
Well, I mean, this is a 4-year study, so there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But at the end of the day, so we're going to look at all the possible, all the different types of cancer. We have the data from a Connecticut tumor registry, which is I believe it's the first tumor registry established in the country. So we have about 10 years of data right now. We're going to have more data from the tumor registry. So we have a huge amount of data. So we wanted to look at every specific type of cancer, and we want to see if there is any link between cancer risk for this particular type of cancer and exposure to traffic. So at the end of the day, we want to have a report to identify the types that are going to have some association with exposure to traffic, and we want to tell the public that because they are going to vary. Some type, if you live closer, that may be a stronger effect. Right. Sometimes the effect may not be as strong. So we want to be able to tell the public as to what type of cancer the risk is going to be much higher if you live close to the traffic area. And we're also going to develop some software which we are going to make it publicly available to other researchers if they want to study, using their, we look at the data in Connecticut. What if they want to study in Florida, for example? We have a similar kind of tumor registry established in Florida as well. So if you wanted to extend the findings, try to see, is there anything unique for the state of Florida? Is there anything unique for the city of Miami, for example? How should I do the analysis? Well, we're going to provide a set of tools for them so they can use our to analyze their data and to do the analysis and to draw inference based on that data.
Thank you, Dr. Guan. Very important work that you're taking on here in the city of Coral Gables, and we're very proud that it's happening here. and we look forward to learning more on the outcome of the study. We'll be right back with more of Coral Gables Now. Welcome back. Good news for homeowners living in flood hazard areas. You may want to check for a discount on your next flood insurance statement. That's just one of the stories that Tanya Leitz is working for us on City News. Tanya?
Belkis, FEMA recently announced it was improving the city's community rating system from a Class 8 to a Class 7. As a result, thanks to the city's floodplain management activities, you may be paying less for coverage. Residents required to have flood insurance will see an additional 5% discount on their premium, bringing their total discount to 15%. In other news, if you hop on the trolley often, we want to hear from you. The City of Coral Gables has initiated a study to develop improvements and possible expansions of the popular trolley program. Trolley riders are encouraged to participate in an online survey by visiting www.coralgables.com. Once on the main page, click on the About Coral Gables tab, and then on the left-hand side, click on News and Press Releases. Scroll down to where it says Online Trolley Survey posted on August 13, and it will open a new page with the survey. If you'd like more information, contact the Trolley Division at 305-460-5070. Couldn't get enough of Coral Gables Restaurant Week? Here's another opportunity to dine at some of the city's top restaurants at a discounted price. More than a dozen restaurants are participating in this year's Miami Spice. That means you'll get to enjoy 3-course meals at incredible rates, with lunch offered at $19 or $23, and dinner for $33 or $39.
I'm having the conch fritters to start, the salmon as my entree, and the mango tres leches as my dessert.
You can take advantage of Miami Spice prices until the end of this month. For participating restaurants and menus, visit ilovemiamispice.com. And finally, senior residents are invited to the annual Dr. William M. Schiff Senior Art Show, where they can display their artistic talents and win prizes. This year's event will take place at the Palace, the luxury senior community developed in partnership with the city. Make sure to mark your calendars for this senior art show. It takes place on Friday, October 11 from 6 to 8 p.m. here at the Palace located on 1 Andalusia Avenue. That wraps it up for this edition of City News. This has been Tanya Leitz. Back to you, Belkis.
All right, thanks, Tanya. Looking forward to it. We'll be right back with more.
Hey, kid, what's shaking? Besides me.
Dad, there's something wrong with the fridge.
What? Ooh, a snack.
Got energy hogs in your house? Now you have the power to do something about them. Log on to energyhog.org. Because nobody likes an energy hog.
Hey, they got Charlie. Who cares?
Welcome back to Coral Gables Now. We're here at the Coral Gables Library where there was a very special presentation. It had to do with vintage postcards and the evolution and history of them in Florida. Now joining us to give us a glimpse of this beautiful collection is Liz Corson. She is a Sarasota author and also an avid collector. Thankfully, she's a collector of postcards. Thank you so much, Liz, for joining us.
Thank you, Thomas.
And since you couldn't make it to the studio, we had to come here to get you at least this once. You know, we sat in on your presentation and great collection depicting Florida. And I know you're here because you've toured the state and you've been doing this in connection with the 500th anniversary of Ponce de Leon. Tell me about your connection with that.
Well, interestingly enough, you'd imagine initially that there could be no connection between Ponce de Leon in 1513 and Florida today. But as I began to research this project, I discovered that there were not one, not two, but 3 direct connections between Ponce de Leon, vintage postcards, and Florida's history. And so it was exciting to find out that material.
So tell me about those three.
Well, the first is Florida cracker cattle. Florida cracker cattle are genetically identical to the cattle that were left behind or jumped overboard when Ponce de Leon was here in Florida. And they got on land and thrived after Ponce de Leon left and are here today. And most of the time when you see an old Florida postcard, you're going to see Florida cracker cattle. And they are enthusiastically bred. People have herds of Florida cracker cattle, and you can go out and see them. So it's really fascinating. Another connection is roads. Ponce de Leon and other Spanish explorers with the Aboriginal Indians ate a lot of shellfish, and they left the shells from the shellfish in huge mounds. And at the turn of the last century, as the automobile was becoming more popular, road people took the shells and used them for pavement. So that's a second connection. And the third connection is Ponce de Leon and the Spanish explorers brought over the ancestors of Florida's citrus industry. So there's this very powerful connection between Ponce de Leon and 500 years later, Florida.
You know, we love Coral Gables postcards, and you have quite a few. So can you take us through some and tell us what's the importance of them?
Well, the two that I have in my hand right now are, one is the iconic large letter linen Coral Gables, Florida postcard. And it's linen because of the linen type paper with a cloth-like texture. And then in each, in each of the large letters, there's a view of Coral Gables inside the large letter. And these were a very handy way to make the most of local views. And so most of the time, the views inside the large letters were used also as standalone cards. So they would just cut them down and put them into the letters. And this is what people think of when they think of a Florida card. And the large letter linens were the most popular postcards ever. So that is a very special card. And this is a view of Ponce de Leon Boulevard and Coral Way from the 1930s. And you see all the storefronts. You can read a Coca-Cola sign. And one of the things that is most charming is all the cars. All these cars with the different colors on them.
I was just going to say, it's so colorful.
I know, I know. Well, that's one of the delights of the linen cards is the colors, the bright, cheerful colors. And that's how linens became associated with Florida, because it's such a bright and sunshiny state.
So a lot has happened here in this postcard since then. I think we've got a median that goes right through the middle of Ponce de Leon Boulevard. But it would be cool to look at this and then go back to the site and see what it looks like now.
I know.
And what I found interesting is if you would turn that postcard around, you get some history of the person who sent it and why they sent it, and they sent it to Ohio, which is great. It gives it character, as you were saying.
And in February 14th, in fact, so Valentine's Day, so someone was down in Miami on a warm February day sending the postcard back to Ohio, where we know it was much less warm.
Yes, yes. What else can you show us?
Well, I also had two really nice white border linens from the late 30s. One is of the Southern Paper Company, which was a small business in Coral Gables. And they were very proud to show their 2 trucks. And that kind of postcard to promote the business, those cards probably were given away to customers and sent locally. And the same thing goes with Sam's service station, another white border linen that I brought that shows Sam's service station, which is also in the building where the U.S. Post Office was. And so that would have been available for sale or for giveaway in the service station, but also in the post office. People in the post office always were eager to promote post offices. So you always found people with displays in post office. So people were using the cards.
All right. Well, thank you, Liz. Thank you so much for sticking around.
Thank you.
All right. So if you want to see more of Liz's postcards, you can always go to her website. It's havingfunwishyouwerehere.com. We'll be right back with more of Coral Gables Now.
things can get pretty ugly when you're bored. In an after-school program, you can find something way better to do.
Welcome back. Local artists looking for a venue to perform now have one. Tanya Leitz visited the new Open Stage Club and has this story.
Local performers now have a new venue where they can showcase their passion for the arts. Open Stage Club, located on 2325 Galliano Street, features a modern-style restaurant and bar complemented by live music.
It's amazing. I love the food. The environment is really like you could eat here and just spend time with your friends. It's nice. I like it.
The grand opening brought city officials, restaurant employees, and guests together in a special ribbon-cutting ceremony. Attendees had the chance to try some of the venue's cuisine, which has a Latin-Mediterranean fusion. And towards the end of the evening, Open Stage Club was transformed into a dynamic and lively spot in downtown Coral Gables. With their state-of-the-art sound system and lighting, the facility set the platform for performers to shine on stage.
It's surrounded by a restaurant and a bar, so we can have an audience for them, and that is what the club is about. I mean, bringing people with the same interest together, performers, artists, comedians, musicians.
Those interested in performing can do so by registering on their website. Open Stage Club is now open Monday through Sunday for lunch and dinner, with seating indoors and outdoors.
I personally think it's actually a very friendly environment. It's very nice. It's different from any restaurant around here.
This is the first of its kind in our city. For Coral Gables Now, this has been Tanya Leitz.
All right, thanks, Tanya. Finally today, a sushi restaurant in the Gables is now open for breakfast. Okay, I know what you're thinking, so we sent Veronica Fernandez to check it out for us.
And I'm sure you've heard that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and I'm right here in Sushi Samba in Coral Gables, where they have a brand new breakfast menu. The popular restaurant is a favorite of celebrities and locals and recently opened a new location in Coral Gables. The Coral Gables Sushi Samba not only offers lunch and dinner, but now they are the only restaurant in the entire Sushi Samba family to offer breakfast.
Breakfast is a side of Sushi Samba that no one's ever seen yet. So we wanted to really bring our unique approach to food to a breakfast style, which is really kind of uncommon in this area. You just see such a traditional approach usually.
The restaurant added the delicious breakfast menu to fit the busy, business-oriented lifestyle of our city beautiful. The menu features morning favorites with a twist.
One of the main popular ones is the morning sandwich. It's this braised short rib. We do it over a brioche and a tomatillo hot sauce. It's very hearty but very fresh at the same time with the spicy tomatillos. We have a sweet quinoa oatmeal, so that brings the Peruvian side to something American and traditional. We have the quinoa in there. Makes it a little lighter and healthier, but still really is satisfying.
The menu also features healthy batidas full of antioxidants and made with fresh fruits. But my favorites are these breakfast dumplings.
These dumplings are basically eggs that we kind of made into a liquid with cream, and we put them in a little plastic bag with some ground chorizo, manchego cheese, and little scallions, and then we poach them. So when we take them out of the plastic bag, you get these little nice mini omelets, essentially. They're like little dumplings.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like a mini omelet. Sushi Samba is located on the lower floor of the Western Colonnade, and this amazing breakfast runs from 7 to 11 in the morning. Sushi Samba is also participating in Miami Spice with a lunch and dinner menu. That's all I have. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Veronica. You see, there is something for everyone's taste. And that does it for this edition of Coral Gables Now. Thanks for watching Coral Gables Television. Make sure you watch us and like us on youtube.com/Coral Gables TV or on coralgables.com/Coral Gables TV. We'll see you next month.